What's up, everybody? This is DJ the Money Coach coming at you. Hey, I'm here in beautiful Zanzibar. That's right, beautiful Zanzibar. I'm on the white sand beaches. In the Indian Ocean, baby. That's right. That's right. We live in the lifestyle, the pom-pom lifestyle. Plenty of money, peace of mind. So tell you what, it only takes 4 dirty little words to get everything you want in this world. Number 1 is discipline. Number 2 is accountability. Number 3 is plug into a proven system. That's the 7 spheres of money. And then number 4 is work. That's all you got to do. Hit that link right now. You can get the ABCs of wealth and the Zanzibar trip information from us. And the masterclass when I get back on March 9th, we're going to hold an amazing masterclass talking to you about the pom-pom lifestyle and all the things that are upcoming. You don't want to miss this, trust me. So come join us on the beaches of the world. Enjoy the pom-pom lifestyle. Plenty of money, peace of mind. DJ Money, Zanzibar out!
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. So hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money and DJ the Money Coach. Thank you for joining us for another powerful episode and another powerful conversation with these amazing Black women that you see on the screen here. But before we get into that powerful conversation, first, like the video, share it, and subscribe to the 7 Spheres of Money. Help us to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We're closing in on 900. Help us to get to 1,000 so we can spread the gospel of the pom-pom lifestyle, which is plenty of money, peace of mind, and this real talk that we bring to you from real Black women and real Black men each and every week. So without further ado, let's get started. But before we get into our topic, which is the importance of sisterhood for our Women's History Month kickoff, we have a new panelist joining us, as well as one of our original panelists joining us after a hiatus. So let's start with our newest panelist, Miss Michelle. So Michelle, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, audience, and thank you guys for having me on the show. My name is Michelle Johnson. I live in Texas, and I wear many hats, but the one hat I'm wearing right now is a realtor. But as you'll soon find out on the show, that being a sisterhood, and that empowers and telling being more than just one thing. But the only thing I'm focusing on right now is my real estate business, and I'm honored to be out here on the show with you lovely ladies today.
Yeah, so this wasn't planned. There's always some synchronicity going on, Nisha.
Yes.
You and I are from Jersey. We had Astoria and Brooke both from Houston, both in Houston, and then you're about to see the synchronicity that's about to happen right now. So Tonia, go ahead and reintroduce yourself to the family.
Hi, everyone. Tonia Archibald, and I am broker owner of Great Lakes Property Management Group, which is a full service management company. We consult, we rehab, and we do property management. So we like to say that we're a full service real estate company, and we'll take you from the womb to the tomb. So I am originally from Chicago area, and I have been in the Detroit area for over 25 years. So I am so glad to be back amongst you all. So I'm excited.
Yes, and we're glad to have you back.
Yes.
Tonia, we missed you.
I miss you all, but you all been holding it down. I've been looking at the videos, and I'm just so excited to be among some amazing women. So
Yes, thank you. So there it is. We have two two real estate ladies on the
there's
panel
the
tonight.
there it is.
Yay!
Yes. So, okay, Nisha, go ahead and reintroduce yourself to the people.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nisha Howell. I am a six-figure Amazon seller, mentor, and coach. I have some students that have kind of not followed in my footsteps, but I've been able to mentor through the process of selling on Amazon. I also am the owner of littlepawskingdom.com. It's a dog and pet store product company that is online. So I got that going on. So basically I'm in e-commerce. I focus on a lot of different areas of online sales, ebooks, courses, and stuff of that nature. So that's kind of like my spiel. I am happy to be here on the panel again. It is nice to have some new panelists and stuff. Although I enjoy my ladies, it's cool to get some other points of view and everything, and just to branch out a little bit. It's cool that we're discussing sisterhood today, and we are embarking on new chemistry and like a new relationship amongst the panel. So I am grateful to be here tonight. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and by the way, Khadirah will be joining us in just a few minutes. She'll be on maybe in about 10 to 15 minutes. So she will be on as well. Astoria is taking the night off, I believe. So yeah, it's going to be a great. Yeah, it's going to be a great conversation. So I'm not going to dominate the conversation, but I will help you all get started. Since this is all about the sisters, and it's March. Like I mentioned, Women's History Month. So it's only fitting that we kickstart Women's History Month with the importance of sisterhood. So why don't we start with the definition of sisterhood? Because you all might have different definitions of sisterhood. What sisterhood might look like to one may be different for the other. So what does sisterhood mean to you? And anyone can start.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nisha. Go ahead.
I just was gonna just say it's I don't know. It's more of a feeling. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time explaining it, because it's just it's more of a feeling and like I really don't know how to explain it, but just to be able to have that connection, that link, that substantial communication with certain people, certain women, where we just fit. I had looked up a definition, and it said it was the feeling of kinship with and closeness to a group of women or all women. But I think it's more like significant to, individual women that we find an attachment to, or find support in, or, find that nurturing that we may need, or, and, anything of that nature, of that womanly nature that we can get from one another, that we can't get from men, that we can only get from one another.
I love your definition, Nisha, especially the connection part, because I was going to say it's a bond that you have with women that may share the same interests, same goals, and that you just feel that, like you said, that connection and that bond that you can trust and push each other and grow together, and just that someone that you feel comfortable with. And so I would say that, and it had that connection, and that bond is the main thing in terms of the sisterhood. So, and you can also have sisterhood just by kinship, like you said. So there's all different types of sisters. And as we go into conversation, my sisterhood, I have so many different types of sisterhood. And so I'm pretty sure we'll get into that. So.
For me, to kind of expand on what both Nisha and Tonia said, sisterhood is to me kind of multiple things. You do have that kinship. That's one type of sisterhood. And then you have different communities, whether it be a work relationship or something. But for me, sisterhood is a group of women of color, for me, that look just like me, the struggles of what I'm going through. I don't have to tell you, because you identify with it. You know what I'm going through. Becky around the corner can't identify because she has a brother or she has half mixed kids. That's not a sisterhood for me. The sisterhood is the struggles. It's the struggles of showing up and yeah, I don't get to go to college and go pick a husband and sit back. No, I get to go to college and break that generational curse so that I can go on to the next generation, pass it on to somebody else. And it's also the sisterhood for me is not just a certain type of people, a certain demographics, but it's women who support women at all levels and at different generational ages. You know, these young women today, they didn't grow up with the big mamas or, you know, Sunday dinners. We're living in a totally different age and generation of, it hurts me to see, you can't even compliment a lady because I was walking down the street. If I see a sister, she's on it. Like, you look good today. Keep doing you. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And the lady looked at me just like, I'm like, excuse me for complimenting you, sister. So it's fun to me. It's a lost generation of women who grew up helping each other. I don't have to know you, but because you look like me, that's what sisterhood means for me. I'm gonna reach back and bring you up to where I'm going, or where you want to be, just to support. And of course, like you said, Tonia, it's the honesty, the trust, the communication. When I'm going through something, I want you to pop up that umbrella and you protect me. Don't take it down and then go gossip about me, or you're protecting me for a second and now you're talking about me, or you're jealous of, oh, I help her get there. That's not important, because in a sisterhood, when you win, I win.
Right. And if everyone understands that, then it'll be so great, because I mean, I don't know, in the workplace, it was, you know, I had a sisterhood in the workplace, and that sisterhood truly helped me, because, you know, they pick me up and then I reach back and help someone else. So we had that connection, especially for people, women of color. For us, it was, you know, especially in corporate America, we needed that. We needed that sisterhood. We needed someone to lean on and say, hey, you know, I need advice. I need, you know, help me navigate, help me, whatever. But you have to, and I keep going back to trust, because unfortunately, we've seen that where I just thought that we should have had this sisterhood because there wasn't a lot of us there, and fool me once, fool me twice, but that doesn't happen all the time. And why, I don't know, you know, because if they understand, we're better collectively, you know, instead of individually. So not everyone has that sense of sisterhoods. And so sometimes I wonder, how can we get there all the time? Because I truly embrace the sisterhood that I do have. But in corporate America, I saw a lot of that. It wasn't a true sisterhood in certain places where I thought that there should be. And so
get that backbiting, you know, where everybody's not, you know, on the same page, where they're trying to do, you know, one thing, and then their handshake doesn't match their smile, basically. So, you know, they're acting one way and then they're not supportive at all, realistically.
Right. Yeah. So so when I do have a sisterhood, I truly embrace it, and I'm so thankful, because sometimes it's rare. And so when you do have a sisterhood, embrace it. Think of it as a blessing. And my thing is, and I think that was one of the questions: how do we make it stronger? How do we make a sisterhood stronger? What do we do? How do we help people understand the importance of a sisterhood? So
I think it's through sharing information. Like, one way right now, you know what I mean? Like, one of the ways right now is to share that, just like you said, like reaching back and pulling people up, is sharing information. It is revealing easier ways to one another, or, you know, just simply, you know, pulling each other up on mental health days. Like, listen, you know, maybe you could, being truthfully honest, like, listen, are you depressed? You know what I'm saying? Like, it comes out in so many different, it comes in so many different ways or shapes or forms. Like, how I know the things that I would look for, or be like, yo, now, like, that's a sisterhood, you know, action or gesture, or, you know, excuse me, where you feel that from another woman.
I'll just say that, like, to get it back to where it used to be, you know, it comes from us being older and the younger generation behind us. Because, honey, when I see this young generation, I'm like, oh, lost soul. And I don't talk about them. I just come in and tell them, I say, honey, I'm a lot older than what I look. So please don't let the smooth look fool you. I've been places that you've never been, and I've probably been places that you may never go. But understand, this is not how a lady conducts herself. We're in a generation, it's a and no disrespect to the music that's out there, we have European culture telling us what satisfies us as a woman and how we should act. You know, you have everybody promoting, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. If that's how you make your money, that's fine. But at the same token, let them know that you do have a standard, and this is just for entertainment purposes only. You know, when did it come cool for us to be thoughts and out here selling our bodies and like, that's okay, and that's the inspiration of where I want to be? No. My son was dating a young lady and I couldn't stand her. She's just a sister, but then I realized that she came from a broken home, hurt people, and if I can't teach you how to be a woman, I've never had that role model, so it's going to be hard. She told me, my son said, yeah, mama, she thinks, I don't know the girl's name, she's with the city girls. I said, the little chocolate little baby that just, and he says, yes, mom. I said, no, baby, you got to do better because I raised you better. So long story short, they've been in a relationship for a while now, about 5 years, and I see the growth because I couldn't stand her. But then I had to step back and pray. I'm telling you, I have fasted and I have prayed, and I said, Lord, let me understand, not from where I am today, because like I said, it's a completely different generation, but let me understand where she's at. Bring me to her level so I can teach her. And fast forward 5 years later, she'll call me before she calls her mom. Hey, what do I do about establishing my credit? Hey, what do you think about this school? And you know, the being naked. So baby, you can't give them everything. You got to leave some stuff to the imagination. And my son gets mad because I tell him, I told her one time he wanted her to go cook and clean and wash his clothes. I said, I'm sorry, sir. You currently bought the girlfriend package. Please upgrade if you want the wifey package. And my son gets mad, but that's a part of being the sisterhood. You know, she doesn't get to see that. And here I am, somebody that's dating my son, but I'm telling her something that's going to benefit her and not him. But then I had to sit him down and have that conversation. Say, son, this is not always about you and what's best for you. I want what's best for you, but I also want to know that when I have passed on, I can't reach the whole world, but if I can reach one person and make a difference. And when I say person, I'm talking about our young ladies, because baby, going in the store with the bonnets on and don't care how you look, when do we get there? How do we get there?
Well, yeah, that's, and I think some of this in terms of, and we can, in terms of that, you know, if we can be honest, and sometimes as a sisterhood, that's where I think we should be honest and allow honesty, you know, not tell people what they want to hear, but tell them what they should hear and what they need to hear. And I think that we've lost that in sisterhood and in the younger generation as well. So in terms of the younger generation, a lot of that happened because we were raising and we wanted to be our children's friend as opposed to telling them what they need to hear. And I think that's a big part of sisterhood, like you said, reaching back and allowing the space to be honest and being comfortable with being honest. And I can just go back. I've had sisters where I've had to tell them, hey, you know, sis, this isn't right, or this isn't whatever. And sometimes it stings. It's happened to me, but you have to appreciate that and embrace that, and embrace the criticism, not the criticism, not criticism, but the what's the word? Yeah, the correction,
Criticism,
criticism, correction. And sometimes I've had to happen to me. And I appreciate that. It stings, it hurts, but what is it called? It's going to help us grow. That's called growth. And so, and I appreciate that. So that's a big part of me with sisterhood, is just, you know, and I see that's what happens to a lot of people, and especially a lot of the famous people or whatever. They are surrounded around all these people, and they're not telling them what they need to hear. They just telling them what they want to hear. And a lot of times they're going in the wrong direction. And I'm just like, only if they had, I can just say sisterhood, someone that really, truly, really cares for them and can tell them what's right and what's wrong. And I think that's a loss in our society right now. So
I feel like we have it. I feel like it's just about about the friendships. If you got a real one, then you're gonna get what you know what I mean, like what you need. I have a couple of friends that will always keep it honest with me and be like, listen, nah. Now they got me like a lot of people, say like, listen, I'm gonna support you all day out in public, but when we get behind closed doors, like,
they gonna tell you, they gonna give you the business.
Exactly. I'm gonna give you the business. So
right.
I understand, because it is lost in a lot of areas, but I think
in the loss.
and it's not, what I mean, it's lost in a lot of areas, and there are a lot of us unsung heroes that are still carrying things down and still trying to instill things in younger generations. But I also know that, like, I'll be 44 on Monday. So my daughter will be 21. I know how I was raised. So I know I have faith in that one, that these things are getting, that they're still, you know what I'm saying, still there. So for her to be in that generation, if she's gonna pass down some good solid stuff still. I just think it just, it is. Yeah. However,
but you instilled that in her, and so it's not. I don't think it's a lost thing, but we got to keep instilling it, because I know, and it's learned. I don't know. You probably already told your daughter that's not your friend. I know you had to say it before. That may be your friend. That she may acting like it, but that one is not. Not your friend. Absolutely. So it takes that type of, it takes that type of instruction. So right now I had to do it with my daughter, but she got a sisterhood. She has some friends that's gonna be honest, that's gonna love on her, that's gonna be with her. And I am just so excited, because I saw when she didn't have it and she drifted and she was looking. Sisterhood is a sense of belonging, and so now I'm so excited so that she did find that. So like you said, I don't think it's lost. But again, I think we all got work
far between.
I think it's hidden.
Exactly.
I think it's more hidden than anything.
You said, Khadirah, you said.
I think it's hidden. I mean, it's like, apologies for coming in late, everybody. And I don't know if I end up repeating some things that you already talked about, but like, I think for the most part, especially in like my generation of the early mid-20s, early 30s or something like that. There's that saying of, doing unto others as you would want done unto you. Ooh. But being willing to do unto others also means that you're also kind of being willing to receive it as well. And you also have to have this security that somebody else's rise isn't your downfall. And sometimes there can be kind of that internal struggle of, well, if I help somebody else out, then that means I'm not getting anything, or what are they doing for me? What have you done for me lately? What if they get bigger? Then it's the jealousy of if they end up doing better and they end up doing better than you. Right. And it's the social media competition, always want to one up, always want to feel like you're the one that's on top, and you're the best person in the group or whatever, ends up stopping a lot of people from really wanting to see others succeed. Like it's real convenient and trendy to be like, that's what I want everybody do well, but then actually doing it and giving people the honesty and giving them the information that will allow them to do better is like two different things. Ooh, and get it. Oh wow. That's and I kind of think of my best friend who's she's about 5 years older than me. She's married, and she helps me in she's been married. My parents are married, but I'm single right now. And she helps me in just being able to understand what it's like to be like married in this type of climate, married to somebody who's the same age as you, and what does that look like? And things that you wouldn't really hear from people unless you really knew them and if they were comfortable. And she pours into me and I pour into her, and neither one of us are thinking, well, if she'd end up doing better than me, then I don't like that. So that's why I'm not gonna say anything. She might end up getting on top of something, and I may not measure up, right? And that insecurity and that lack of an abundance mindset stops a lot of people. I think it stops a lot of people. You know, it's funny because I ended up, I had this other friend who, you know, they are going through what they're going through, and sometimes will react negatively, you know, if somebody else is having a positive, you know, moment or whatever, something positive happened to them. And I had to say something like, well, how come every time something positive happens to somebody else, you kind of react negatively about it? Or, and what I mean by that, it's not like, oh, I hate that that good thing happened to you. It's more like, wow, that happened to you, but you know, girl, this thing happened to me, and da 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 da, and they did this to me, and da 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 da. You know, it's like a weird energy. Why can't you just be happy for somebody else? But it takes a lot to be happy for somebody else if you feel like bad things don't, I mean, if you feel like good things don't happen to you, if you feel like things don't go right for you, and therefore misery loves company. So you need to be miserable like me. And you shouldn't be growing because then you might outgrow me.
Right.
And now that's a mirror.
Which brings up another point. I mean, do you all feel that you can, I mean, have you fell out of a sisterhood, and why do you, and because what you just said is that sometimes we grow out of relationships, and you got to just take it for that's a season. I love you. I've always be there for you, but you know, I can't.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not be there.
Right. Or not.
Or
Sometimes
for the season, we poured into each other and that season has ended, but I still love you, and you know, peace.
Now, let me speak on that part about a sisterhood. Had someone, we're not sisters, but cousins. And when I tell you everybody thought we were sisters, we were inseparable. But I don't know, she's going through whatever she was going through, and she betrayed me. Like everybody, when the betrayal happened, everybody's looking like, I'm like, okay, you pick up your face, and how do you forgive that, and how do you move on from that? So yeah, the sisterhood does fall out, but I think that comes from growth, because to this day, I didn't speak to her for almost like maybe 8-9 years, and we're in the same family, moms or sisters. So it was hard, you know, and it took a place for me to get to the place that I'm at today, that again, hurt people, and that betrayal, one thing's for sure and two things for certain. Yeah, you're going to forever be my cousin. I can't change that DNA. Second thing is, I'll probably never trust you ever again in life. But here's the thing, I can forgive you because the forgiveness isn't for you, it's for me. And we'll probably never, ever in life be the same, but you can still be included in my sisterhood, not just because you're related to me, but because we have been through so many things. And it's hard. Every time she comes around, that here comes the devil kicking in. Girl, you remember that time? Why aren't you talking to her? Yeah. But at the same token, I know where she's at and the things that she's kind of going through, some of the things I have been through. So I'm going to be the bigger person. One, I love you. I love you from the bottom of my heart, not just because you're family, but because I really do have a friendship. But I love you differently, and I have to put you in a different kind of sisterhood now. But I'm not going to just, if it's something I can do to help you not struggle, I'm gonna get you there. And then it comes out, if it's jealousy or whatever the case, whatever made you do what you did, you have to realize my journey is my journey and your journey is your journey. And there's no competition. There is no competition in this life. The only thing you have to do is be better than you were yesterday. That's it. Doesn't matter what Susie's doing, doesn't matter. And if people get to that point, meaning women, us as Black women, because we've been taught from generation to generation that, oh, light skin's better than dark skin, or you got none of that even matters. If you realize you are beautiful as a person, and that comes through, then you're right. You let go of the toxic people and the toxic relationship, because we can't save everybody. We can't. We're not going to be able to save everybody. So we just have to learn to form relationships with the people that are conducive to where we are at that point in time in life. And just because it's a great sisterhood right now, the thing for me was maybe there's a shift, and that's okay. And that's really okay. I'm okay with that. And you just kind of move on and you form other relationships, other sisterhoods. But yeah, it's not an easy task. It definitely is not easy.
I've just been so, and I'm getting a little teary-eyed because I'm just so thankful, and I'm so grateful for the sisterhoods that I do have. And some, they're separate, but you know, just recently, we celebrated, I had a big 25th year anniversary, And a lot of my sisterhoods came together. They dropped what they did and they came together. And I'm just so thankful because I'm looking, I have sisterhoods, a group of us from kindergarten. I have a group of us from college. I have a group that's from, you know, my when I was in corporate. I have my church sisterhood. I'm in a sorority. Best sorority in the world. That's stigmatized. Anyway, I have that sisterhood, and you know, and I'm just so thankful and blessed and grateful. So you know, so I get teary-eyed because it means so much to me. And so and then I had sisterhoods that that I grew out of. And no love lost, but you know, and I had those. So I'm just so thankful. And it's just so important because you need that balance, you need that check, you need that love, you need that belonging, you need that, it just, you need that. And all of those sisterhoods have made me grow and they challenge me. Sisterhoods isn't just there, hey girl, what's going on? It's about challenging us, making each other a better person. And that's what it means to me. So.
And the sisterhoods that you have grown out of, when you get to a point, it does, like you said, it makes you so grateful, because I'm like that too. I have sisterhoods from childhood and from corporate, and you look at the different sisterhoods and you're like, wow, without the ones that are for a season, reason, in a lifetime, I think those are my lifetimes, and they keep me balanced because they have seen me grow from this to this. And they keep me accountable. They be like, girl, you know you're wrong. Go somewhere and sit down. Go get it together and come back and try it all over again. You know, and me being who I am, I always want to control everything. But I'm working on it, realize that, you know what? I can't control everything. Let me sit back. And then I was like, just start calling it constructive feedback, because you're right. Nobody ever wants to hear the bad things about them, because we all think we're good and everybody needs to do it our way. But I'm learning to sit back and be like, okay, I received that. And I thank you. I thank you for the sisterhood. I thank you for having that shoulder to cry on. I thank you for this safe space. And I thank you for allowing me to grow as a person and realize what I don't need from a sisterhood.
Right. Safe space. And I forgot my kin sisters. I have two beautiful sisters. I'm the baby. I don't know. I'm just so thankful and grateful. Oh my goodness. We talk every day. So of course that kinship. And I can say, I don't take that for granted, because I have a lot of friends and a lot of people, they don't have that relationship with their siblings and their kinship. So I would not take that for granted at all. So I'm just so blessed and grateful to have been born into a sisterhood. So.
Yeah, I'm the baby of the family, and I got brothers. My sister, she's old age. When I call her, she's in bed at 7. I'm like, who goes to bed at 7 o'clock?
I could never go to bed that early.
At all.
That's early.
I go to bed at 7. I'm probably up at 9 p.m. trying to figure out what to do.
Same. One of the questions that we had was, I think we went over like, well, what are some of the challenges of maintaining sisterhood? I think would be a good one to discuss. I think what, you know, a lot of times, like not everybody always reaches out to, you know, to check on people and to say, you know, like, oh, I think it's terrible when people are like, ain't nobody checking on me, so I'm not checking on them. You don't know what your sister got going on until you check on her in order to find out what's, you know what I mean? Like what's wrong. So I think being a person to initiate communication is a good way to maintain sisterhoods. I think, you know, not only just to reach out and to call, but I mean, even sometimes like small gifts, little gestures, people like to, you know, receive little things, or just anything to make your sister smile, or, you know, like when you're trying to figure out what's going on with them. It's not always necessarily about what somebody can do for you, like how we're saying it, you know, the whole gist of the whole conversation, but like, what can I do to brighten up somebody else's day today, like my sister's day today, or just so that you're maintaining and letting them know that those lines of communication are still there for them, even though you're not reaching out. Hey sis, I know you might be going through something, but I'm here if you need me. Like that long distance support without being overbearing, like, why are you not calling me? goes a long way, because you don't never know what, you know, people are going through.
I think there's also the other side of that, of using your sisters and using their help and being able to receive it. Because not everybody knows how to receive
True.
anything.
True.
You know, that's actually a real issue, not being able to receive help when it's there. Because it's almost disrespectful at a certain point. If you have this help and you know these people are here for you and they give you the space, they give you the aid, you know they will help them. You kind of have like that thing where you don't want to bother people because you feel like a burden, but that's your girl. You know, who cares even if it is a burden? Because they're still your sister and that's what they're there for. But then to not use them and not reach out when you know you need help. And at this point, everybody's grown. You should, you know, I mean, this isn't like high school, you know, and it's like, you don't want to, I guess, you know, my dad told me growing up, he was like, use me, don't abuse me, but use me. You know, you want to, people are here to support other people. We like to do that. That's a natural human desire to help other people because it's semi-selfish because you feel good when you help other people.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to take advantage of that and avoid any consequences of actually potentially being a burden to your sisters after some situation has happened, after they have to find out after the fact, you know, and why didn't you reach out before?
Right.
It was kind of like being in the spirit of receiving and being willing to receive.
And willing.
Yeah, and especially as being women and being the feminine, we're naturally more receptive, or at least we should be able to receive and being able to take the power in that as well. So you get the help that you need. You know, if everybody out here, you know, people who have a home who be willing to let you stay under their roof, why are you out here not saying anything? You know?
Well, I hear you. And that's a real, you know, because I'm a giver. I love to give. I'm a giver. I love to serve. That's my but I will come. You know, I'm one of the strong. I'm the one that mostly everybody come to. So I can say I suffer. I shouldn't say suffer. It's sometimes hard for me when I need help. Yeah. And so that's real. That's a real, you know, and so, you know, that is something I know I need to work on. And to me, you're right. That's a kind of selfish me. I know I have resources. I know I have sisters. Why should I try to handle this on my own when I know I have the help? But that's real.
Yeah. It's hard.
I deal with it all the time. That's real because, you know, you don't want to be the burden. And sometimes, you know, I have to check myself because sometimes it may be pride. We got to really look at ourselves. Is it pride?
Pride and ego.
Pride. So, so that's something, you know, I deal with. I know a lot of other people deal with it because we're that strong.
The strong friend.
The strong friend. And
yeah, that's a real thing. And I get that because I'm like that.
I'm a strong friend.
You know, it was funny. You know, I had a friend, it's my best friend. And I was going through something a couple months ago. And I told her after the fact, and like it ended up, you know, it was kind of an in and out situation. You know, thankfully it didn't last too long. But when I told her, she was like, I didn't know, why didn't you say anything? I mean, she was almost mad. She's like, why didn't you say anything? I would have helped you. Yeah, it would have been, it might have took me back a little bit, but it would have been fine. She's like, why don't you say something? Like, we live across the street. What are you doing? You know, because, and I had, that's why that thought came to me to say that. Because it was a little bit disrespectful. You know, it was a little bit like, what's going on? We talk every day, but you don't mention this thing that you're going through.
Right.
Like you're afraid,
like
or
she had the right to be mad at you a little bit. Like
she
had the right to be upset. Like, how dare you?
I was like, I don't feel like it was that big a deal. She's like, Khadirah, it was a big deal. I'm like, maybe it was. But I mean,
now that we're talking about it.
Now that you say it, right. Yeah.
You know, I don't know why you mad at me or whatever, you know. But it's like, if you're going through those issues and you always want to play strong.
I see Michelle is back. Michelle.
Oh yeah, Michelle.
I didn't quit on you ladies.
You're back.
Yeah, don't think I didn't pay my light bill or anything. We had a
Oh my God.
today, and my power's been on and off all day. Not just mine, but the whole block. Hopefully, they fixed it soon.
Right. Yeah. I don't know who brought it up, if it was Nisha or Khadirah, about checking in and just making sure, and that happened to me. Sometimes life gets in the way, I'm just saying, and we go a long time without, checking in on your sisters and checking in. I have some that I went a long time, and it's just like you connect, and it's like you never missed a beat, but I can say that that's very important, because it has happened to me. I lost connection to one of my good sisters, and I found out too late. She had reached out to me again on social media. She had lost my number. We had lost, and this is with one of my real good sisters, and really from high school, and we kind of lost whatever. And I looked on my social media. I guess she was on Messenger. I don't hardly get on Messenger. And she wrote me. And when I finally got back to looking at it and tried to reach out, she was gone. She had passed away. So because of that, I make it my point to not try to go a long time without talking. And this age is a little easier now with social media, with texting. Back in the days we had to write a letter, but so now it's easier to connect, and it doesn't have to be a long conversation. Like you said, it can just be a text. Hey, how you doing? Thinking of you. That's one of my whatever. Something pop on my mind. Someone pops on my mind. It's a quick test. Yeah. Didn't want anything, just thinking of you. That's all. It doesn't have to be long, and that goes a long way, because I know it goes a long way with me. So after that hurt me, because I didn't reach out. Well, I had, and to know that she had passed away, didn't go to the funeral because she had passed. I didn't know. So that one really hurt me, and I make it I try to connect as much as I can. It may not, like I said, even if it's just a text. So that was good. So
that's a really good, it's an unfortunate story, but it's also like a common one, especially I think as in nowadays. I think it's weirdly common where you don't check in with somebody and sometimes they've already passed on. And it kind of makes me think of the situation. It was a brother in my mom's who we kind of regularly check in with each other. Like the brothers check in with the brothers, the sisters check in with the sisters, right? And there was a brother who he was real good on checking in, and then all of a sudden he hadn't, and they hadn't heard from him in like a couple of weeks or so. But he was hard to get in touch with. He was moving, he switched cell phones, he didn't give people his new number, his new address. And it got so serious that his sister, who he hadn't talked to in a minute, also couldn't get in contact. And she didn't know where he was at, because again, he didn't share his address. He just wasn't keeping up with people. And what she did is she eventually found his address somehow, still couldn't get in touch. And so she ended up having, like the police do like a check-in, like, when they call him, like, hey, can you just go check in on them? And they ended up coming in, trying to knock on the door. He wasn't answering. He had actually passed away in his apartment. And I think he had been passed away he had transitioned for at least a week. Wow. And they had to find him like that. He has children and everything. And so they had to inform, the mothers. And it was so weird, because I had just spoken to him earlier in the month, and he had, some health issues, and nobody knew them. Nobody knew what he was going through, because he wasn't telling anybody, and therefore he couldn't get the help that he needed. And I think in this age where a lot of people are like, waiting to be in long-term relationships, or maybe just not, it's not just about even, just making sure that, what's going on with you, how's life going? It's like, I want to know you're okay. Right. Because, if you check in with somebody on a regular basis and they suddenly not answering a phone call, they suddenly not answering a text back, it's taking a little bit long, now you have reason to be concerned
Investigate.
because you're used to hearing from them, but now all of a sudden you haven't. And that's like a real thing in our minds where like, if you don't answer us back, we will come to your house if we know where you're at. We just happen to not know where he was at. You know, his sister ended up having to find out, you know, but a lot of people don't do that. And, you know, you not only do you want to have people reach out to you, but you want to answer, you know, even if it's just like, oh yeah, I'm doing fine, text back. Sometimes that's just enough. I just want to know that you're all right.
That's it.
You know, it's a sister of my mom's who I check in on with, and she's in Thailand, all the way over there. She's on work. She's been there for about a year or two. And I check in with her every now and again. She don't always answer. It's okay, because I see the thing says you read it. So I'm okay with that. You know, you don't gotta say nothing back as long as it says you read. And one time I called her a minute because I'm like, I'm sending stuff and I don't see the little thing says you read it. And she's like, oh, I'm okay. You know, sometimes I just get busy. It's okay. Just open it. That's enough for me, because if I have to make a trip, I will. Okay, I work from home, so I can do that.
You can do that.
You know, I'll come over if I need to. I was like, don't play with me. I'll catch a plane ticket right now. I got a credit card. Don't play with me.
Right. I gotta.
You know,
please, I have to get off because I have to join in a Zoom for my son's school. They have like, it started at 7:30, but I had to jump off at 8. But I just didn't want to like not show up. But I appreciate you all, and I will see you all soon on the next one. Okay. Have a great evening. Good night, Nick.
All right, Nisha.
All right. I'll see you guys next week.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
Hey, I chose to rock with DJ, the money coach, because he gave me, during our complimentary consulting session, he gave me 3 things that I think is going to be a game changer. 1, he gave me an action plan to increase revenue in my business. 2, he gave me 2 conferences that I'm going to attend that I know are going to be game changers in my business for networking. And 3, he gave me an action plan to pay down debt, save, so that we can buy properties and it won't put a strain on our household. So that's why I rock with DJ Money.
Hi, my name is Tara. I just want to thank DJ for creating a financial plan for me. DJ showed me how to look for insurance policies with low premiums. He also explained to me how I could save several $1,000s by getting into a lower mortgage term. Thanks again, DJ.
Astoria.
Hey.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
That was good timing. Nisha just had to jump off.
Dang, I thought I was gonna get on right so I could say, hey girl, hey.
Real good timing.
Yeah, just to kind of elaborate on the reaching out, I feel like that sometimes, because out of all my groups, I'm always the one checking in, making sure everybody's okay. And then I get selfish and I get in my pity party, like, I'm not checking on them. If they don't check on me, I'm not checking on them. Yeah. And the thing is, like, okay, you know that's just your role, Michelle. So get out of your little pity party and check on them. And, you know, I have to let them know sometimes. I'll be like, hey, they're like, oh, I hadn't heard from you. I'm like, okay, the phone works both ways, you know, sometimes check on me, because I'm not okay sometimes, because I am the one that has to be the strongest all the time. But you're right, you know, especially nowadays in this generation of we're living in, we don't expect parents to be burying our kids, you know. Yeah. It's nowadays, you really don't know. Just because they're old, that doesn't mean they're going to expire. They're old and still, I mean, young, and they're still passing. So the checking in is always the most important thing. And nowadays, with everything that's going on, I think everybody should just check on each other, because nobody's ever really okay. Just one day you're up and the next day you're not, you know. Just talking to you today and cousin's gone today or the next day or something. You never really know. We're living in such a vital time to where like anything could happen, you know, whereas before, you know, you can go work at this job forever and everything's the same, not much changes. You wake up tomorrow and what we're doing right here can be the dynamics can be so different next week, and y'all be like, dang, what happened to Michelle? She was just up here.
Right. Yeah.
The Lord says the same, that I'll be here next week, but I'm just saying that checking in, it is important, even if you are the one always doing the checking in. Just, you know, just, hey, let them know sometimes, hey, y'all check on me too.
Right. I'm strong, but I need someone to check in on me.
Come
Yeah,
take me
I get it.
sometimes.
I get it. Yeah.
Check on your strong friends.
That's right.
Right.
And that's what we were saying. Check on them, right, Astoria. I just think about, you know, a lot of the suicide that's going on, you know, especially with, you know, the two beauty people. And I'm just like, wow, you know, I'm not saying hopefully they had that sisterhood. I don't know. And I just think about that, you know, because you don't know, you think people are doing good. You think they're strong, you think whatever, but sometimes it could just be, like you said, checking in. And like we said, as the strong ones, we have to receive it as well. Sometimes you don't seek out for that help and you think, you know, and like I said earlier, you know, it could be pride, it could be embarrassment, it could be whatever, but a true sense of sisterhood, you should be able to be all of that. You should be able to be all of who you are. And that's why I think it's so important to have it, to be you, no fake, no whatever. I can be who I am, and you're gonna love me and support me and tell me when I'm wrong or whatever I need. And there's no love lost. And we just want to keep moving, keep growing together. So that's, to me, is what's needed. And that's, to me, what a true sisterhood is. I don't have to be fake. It's so hard to be fake. I can be me. You know, no need to be that. And so, and we can support each other and grow. So.
Did you all talk about, I guess, I'm looking at the questions from
the balance.
Yeah, the balance. That's what I was looking at. The sisterhood and the significant other one.
I mean, but we can talk about it again. We just talk about how sometimes it's hard to balance the sisterhood. Yeah, if you wanted to kind of jump in with that, since you brought it up.
I think I think it's interesting on the other side of that. So like, I'm single, my best friend's married. And I know she tries, you know, her, especially when she and I were just getting to know each other in a very, like, I don't know, 5 years or something, 5 years ago. And I know it was difficult, a little bit difficult for her because she was newly married maybe about 1 or 2 years when we met. And, you know, she had a baby. I think she just had another child at that time. And it's difficult when you're kind of dealing with the whole mix of that. And I had to kind of get used to that. And really show grace when, you know, I'm an only child and I'm single. So I really don't know what you're talking about or why. I'm like, why are you calling me and why are you always hanging up? You know, oh, it's not me, it's not her, it's the baby, you know, or, you know, her husband calls and, you know, she hangs up for that. You know, her husband comes in and just being okay with that and giving grace. And that's just something I had to kind of learn and also teach myself to also check in too. Because I can be okay not talking to somebody for a little bit of time. You know, I am that person, you know, and I'd be fine too. I'm like, nothing wrong. I'm cool right here. Right. But for her, she likes to be checked in on. So I'm like, okay, let me do a little more because it's difficult. And being kind of that space, and you know, she gets to enjoy the fact that I don't really have that much going on, so I can kind of wait and be patient.
Right, and be patient.
And I'm okay with that. And she always really appreciates that. Because I was like, let me stop being irritated or something, because why? It's not even her fault. You know, her baby running around naked trying to catch him, you know, like he got something. He ate something he's not supposed to eat. Like, you know, it's okay. And just being fine with that. And she's expressed just how she appreciates the fact that I hold space for her in a way that allows her to just be who she is and also let the things happen. So she got to get off the phone real quick, even though she called me. I'm not going to be mad at that. You got to go, you got to go. I'll talk to you later. You know, you can call me at, at midnight because I'm going to be up because what else am I doing? You know, so that's okay. Like you got a little time for that. And so I get my own family, whatever. And even then it's going to be fine. So just, I don't know what it looks like on the other end where you already have like the family or the significant other, but I can know what it, how important it is to hold that space and be available or just be understanding, even if you can't be available time.
That's good, Khadirah, because that's real good. because it is sometimes hard, you know, being married and have children. I'll talk to it from that standpoint.
Mhm.
And, you know, that consumes a lot. But I am a true believer that, hey, I need time with my sisters. I need time with my girlfriends. And that's so important because there's certain things that I can't, you know, I love my husband, but there's certain things he's not going to understand. And so I need that outlet. I need my girls' time. And like, you know, I need that. And that's not going to do anything but make me better. That's going to make me a better wife, a better mother, a better whatever. So that's just so important. And when you said in terms of the different seasons, I had friends. It's funny. I was young with the kids, and a lot of my friends, they were single. They were kicking it. I was like, okay, call me. What you doing, girl? What you get? What, you know, I was living vicariously through them because I'm at home with the kids, children. And so we just had that, you know, balance. So now, guess what? My kids are grown. They decided to get married later, and their kids are younger, and I'm kicking it. I'm like, hey, like, you always go. See, you remember? You know,
you know,
tables and turn. So, but again, through all that, the change and the, you know, the balance. And, you know, I have a lot of married friends and I have a lot of single friends as well. And you're right. And I have sisters like you that respects, hey, I gotta, you know, get off the phone. You know, we can be in the middle of a great conversation. Girl, I gotta go. You know, I call you back, Les, you know, and they understand that and they respect that and you know, to have that. So that's great. You understand the space and the balance. Mm-hmm.
I'd learn that fast. I was like, I don't understand. Because I'm an only child. I really don't know. And so I don't have children. I mean, genuinely, I don't understand why you always gotta get off the phone. And I'm like, oh, the baby, oh, someone with the husband, or just some other stuff, you know, somebody calling, you know, something broke, whatever. And at this point, you know, I'm cool with it. I'm great with it. And then it's those moments where she has like those few minutes to talk, and I try to be as available as possible to give her that space. You know, especially because I know she doesn't necessarily have a ton of people like that. You know, I am the best friend. So, you know, I am the best friend. You know, call me up. I'm cool. You know, because can't nobody else do this. So, yeah. And sometimes she'll be talking, and she's like, oh, I'm just rambling. No, I'm enjoying it. I like listening to you. It's okay. Yeah. It's great. And she appreciates that because it's, you know, I know you don't have a lot of people you can do that with. So I'm okay with you doing that with me. You know, you can ramble. I don't need to talk. I don't even talk at all. You can keep going for 20 minutes. Right. I'm glad you're breathing though. I'm glad you're breathing. You know, and then you gotta get off the phone real quick because somehow, you know, the children running, I don't know. Again, naked baby down the stairs. Gotta catch them. But I think a common theme in this conversation is like holding space and being available and reaching out and being able to receive, and like all that matters when you really want to have a true community and sisterhood and real friendship, you know, because life is difficult. Life is hard, you know, it can be very cruel, very negative. And if you can find those few people, because don't gotta be a lot, you know, if you can just find those few people who you can hold tight with, and you give them the respect and, you know, everything that you want to receive, you give it to them. And that creates like a deeper bond that like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you can't duplicate it, but it's difficult when you really find like that person or those people.
Yeah. I find that for me, like the balance now with friends, because we're all older and it's only like 2 of us that don't have no kids out of my big friend group. We did this thing. I think I shared this with you before, Khadirah, that we took 24 hours and went to Miami. Why? Because some people got little babies. And so they was like, I can only spend 24 hours with y'all. And to other people, they're like, y'all went to Miami for 24 hours? Like, yeah, that's all the time we had. They needed a mommy day. We wanted to have brunch somewhere. It was close enough. We could spend 12 hours with just us, no kids, no nothing. And it worked out because we had time to like really connect hang out, talk about what's been happening that we probably couldn't talk about because the kids is running around, or I gotta breastfeed this one, I gotta do this and all that. And it's the balance of being understandable. Like, I don't have kids, so if all they got is 24 hours, that's all we got.
That's what we're gonna do.
We're
gonna rock this 24 hours.
Let's figure this out. Right. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. And even my friend group that's here, like I'm gonna say my spiritual sisters and community, like last week after I came back from out of town, I literally spent a couple of hours like every day with a different friend, because we had to like just catch up. Like, each friend needs different type of space and energy. I have a friend that loves Taco Tuesday, like I love Taco Tuesday. So we gonna hang out and have margaritas on Tuesday, right? I have another friend, she just want to be in her house with her husband. So it's like, okay, it's brother sister time. So I'm coming over there, I'm gonna hang out with y'all, because you know what I mean? And my other friend needed something else. So like you said, they're understanding that people need different things. And if you're that flexible friend, you're able to kind of move around and you know.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Giving people what they need.
Yep.
Because not everybody needs
the same thing.
Same thing. And being able to understand that, identify that, and then accept that.
Yep. And their needs will change over time. Because we keep changing over time. So yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, let me kind of jump in real quick to add to that, because I think I've been through all seasons of life. I've been married, I've been divorced, I've been the caretaker for my mother, and I've been the counselor. I've been kind of everything. And then I know Khadirah, in the story, you guys missed it earlier. I just said I'm a lot older than what I look, but I've been through all those seasons, so I understand. Huh?
I said black not crack.
At all. But yeah, so being in my 50s now, I'm in a whole nother season. I'm an empty nester. So
I might have guessed that.
Yeah, I win all the time when we go to Six Flags. I said, come on, y'all want to try? But I've been through those different seasons, and I understand that, because I had my son later in age, you know. All my friends, I'm partying like a rock star all in my 20s. And, you know, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm on a flight to New York. I'm on a flight to California. I'm over here overseas. And people are like, what? So now I'm in this season. Everybody's like, oh, let's go do this, girl. That's old. I didn't want to be the person in my 50s still trying to go hang with the kids at 20, 21, 22. No, I know my season in life. So for my sisterhoods that I have, and that's the reason I said I'm the strong one in the group, because people are like, girl, you know, you done already been through there. When you're putting the book out, slow down, it's coming. You know, I've been through those seasons, you know, and I know what I had to do to transition from, like you said, for this season to that season to this season. And, you know, even being a business owner, you know, I've started and I failed, and I have failed tremendously at a lot of things I didn't get right. But at the end of the day, my group of sisterhoods that I know, I'll be like, hey, yeah, I effed that up real bad. So if you want to take that turn I took, this is what you need to do. And if you don't, take this turn. But at the end of the day, I can't tell you what that looks like for you, but I can tell you what to expect in those seasons. So that's the reason I said sometimes, even though I am the strong one in my sisterhood and I have to be the bigger one, sometimes I just want to be selfish and be like, well, I don't want to be the strong one. I want, come check on me. Somebody do something for me. But then I sit back and look, like my blessings don't come from the sisterhood because they're not there yet. Or like you said, everybody needs something at a different time. My blessings come in a window of opportunity open, because God has seen me be so humble and fasting and praying for my sisterhood. And what I'm looking for in return from my sisterhood, I may not always get, but oh, you better believe my Heavenly Father will open doors that, you know, I feel like it's because I've been still, I've been in the right places, I've been that humble servant, I've been doing the things that I need to do. And it's okay. I don't have to expect, if I go into my sisterhoods with expectations of someone doing something else for me, well, I did this for you, you need to do that. No, I had to learn to be still, be patient. And when you get to the part that where you have peace surpass all understanding, I used to never understand that. I'd be like, them old people tripping. Well, now I'm one of them old people that's tripping and understands what the peace surpasses all understanding. And like I told you guys earlier, some of the relationships in my sisterhood that has gotten violated so bad, the cousin that betrayed me, well, I lost my mom a couple of years ago. I've already been down that road. Now her mom's in the hospital and people are like, I can't believe how you're there for her. You know, I just know what it's like. So I say all that to say sometimes we may not understand, and yeah, we do have to hold that space for our sisters, and they may not give us back what we need. And sometimes we just don't need to look for it from them to get it back from us, because we'll get it back. We're planting seeds so that we'll get blessed in any other ways that we never even expected.
Yeah. Amen.
I keep going to church on y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it.
I see who you
threw that
are,
word
Miss
back at us, and I love it.
Because you be giving that. I was like, dang.
Yeah, she threw a lot of nuggets out there. That's good. That's good.
There was a part in there where you were talking about expectations, and I forget the exact word, but the consensus was just like not expecting too much or thinking you're gonna get back from them what you think you gave them, you know, whoever that individual person is. And a lot of times maybe you're giving to them, and whatever you get back is may not come from them. And being okay with that, and not having unrealistic expectations for the person that you're dealing with. And that comes with accepting them for who they are in totality. And not thinking that even if it's a good deed, not thinking that whatever good deed you do to them is going to change who they are, because it's not. And they're just going to be who they are. And you either be understanding of that and accept that, and then, change the quantity of your expectations from that person to something that's more reasonable. And like not being upset, not being so quick to being upset that you ain't get what you want. But but why are you trying to give it to somebody who's just not gonna give it back?
Yeah, trying to pour into an empty cup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the seeds that you sow for that person, it may not come back from that person. You sowed those seeds, you're gonna reap it from somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily have to be from. So you just gotta, like you said, no expectation. Just do what. Be a friend. Be a friend.
Actually, I don't know if I would say. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the interesting thing is I posted this today. It was something that Oprah said. It said expecting people to do what you would do in situations sets you up for disappointment because they didn't do what you thought they would do. So the point is for you to do whatever you was gonna do, accept what they were gonna do, however it comes. Like stop expecting people to be you. Like if you want to give freely, give freely. If you decide what you want to do for someone, do that because that's what you feel is important to you. Do not expect for them to do that exact same thing. Because like you said, it's planting the seed for something else. It doesn't mean you're going to get it back automatically in the way that you think you're going to get it back. But it's almost just like having peace of mind. Peace of mind is retraining your brain to accept things as they are, not as what you think they're supposed to be. So,
exactly.
But you know, I know somebody said not to have expectations. I don't know. I don't, and maybe this 25-year-old me, right? I don't know if you have to not have any expectations. I feel like it's a little bit more about being somewhat
realistic
about them.
Realistic aspect.
Like for example, sometimes I don't think it's about pouring into an empty cup. I think it's more about pouring into the wrong cup and not understanding the cup that you got. Like for example, if I got some hot coffee, I wouldn't pour that in like an ice cream cone. Ice cream cone is useful for holding ice cream. I just poured into the wrong container. And I think it's like the understanding of where you're pouring it into and what's the real expectation I should have.
Can I ask this? Because I get it. I totally get what you're saying. So let me put it into realistic. So you have a friend. I'm just saying you have a friend and you're pouring and you pouring and you pouring into that person and nothing is coming out. You're doing all the giving and you're pouring and they don't appreciate you pouring. So will you continue that sisterhood because you're doing what you're thinking you're supposed to do, not expecting anything in return? Or are you gonna say, you know what, this is not a two-way thing. I'm pouring. They're not pouring back into you, or they're not or they're not even appreciating what you're doing. So do you keep pouring Is that, or would that sisterhood be broken? This is just a hypothetical. Anybody can answer.
I'm going to jump in and tell you this. And like I said, it took me a long time to get there, and call it, whether you call it pouring into the wrong cup or pouring into an empty cup. Any way that you look at it, you have to realize that, okay, at some point, they're just not where maybe I think they should be, but then that goes back to my expectations. But what I am going to do, the most precious commodity I have on this earth is my time. That's something I cannot give back. That's not something I give loosely. So with that being said, if the only issue is I'm pouring into this person, they're not receiving what I'm giving, they're not appreciating what I'm giving, okay, fine, I'll back up. I don't cut the relationship off. I won't pour in as much to you. I won't give as much to you until you can show me you appreciate me, and all the things, whether it be 10 years later, 15 years later, whatever, a day later, whatever, you come back and say, hey, you know what? All those times that you were pouring into me and you feel like it was going in one ear out the other, I really didn't appreciate it. Boom, look at where I'm at right now. It's because of those times you were pouring into me that it looks like I didn't receive it. I really did receive it. So I've had situations like that. I felt like just wasting my time. I'm wasting my breath. And I just ran into a sister the other day. She's like, oh my God, I've been looking for you. And I said, what? And she's like, I couldn't, numbers change, life happens. I'm like, well, what are you talking? She's like, girl, all them times I miss talking to you, and you would say this and you would say that, and you would always be there. And then when it's like you disappeared, I missed that. And you, honey, if you would see her now, you would be like, girl, you are not the same person. But then she goes, no, it's because when you were pouring into me, it may not see right now, but years later I saw it, and I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't for me to say, and maybe it wasn't for me to see right then and or whatever. But I happened to just kind of run into her. I'm like, that's okay. What's your new address? What's your new phone number? I'm going to send you that invoice, honey, because that was a whole lot of time that I spent pouring into you. So she's like, you are such a character. But I just say that sometimes you don't get to see it, and you don't get to feel it. And we may never know. And if we are pouring into the wrong cup, the empty cup, we don't know. We don't know. So you have to decide how much of your time you're going to pour into something that you feel may or may not be beneficial.
Okay.
Right. I feel the exact same way, Michelle, because honestly, I've been friends with some of my friends for, if I'm 35 now, at least 30 years. We've been friends.
That's that black don't crack. I thought you were about 21.
Girl, 35, give me all my 35.
All right.
But no, I'm just saying we have been through ups and downs, and we have been, back and forth with things. And the thing is, people mature and grow at different rates, right? And so I just happened to be pouring into them, before they were ready to be poured into, I put it that way. But it took them years. I mean, we were in our late 20s going into 30s, and now they're all coming back. Like Michelle said, not just coming back and saying, oh, I miss you, but more of like, girl, I apologize. I wasn't listening to what you were saying. You really was telling me what was good for me, but I really wasn't listening to what you were saying. And I just I wasn't ready to receive it. And so I didn't cut their friendship off. I just, as my mom said, you just handle them with a long handle spoon, where you only give them enough, but not too much. You just kind of just be like, well, girl, I love you. Happy birthday, blah, 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 whatever, but you kind of just, do whatever. And one of my friends, she lost her mom recently. And all of us showed up. We live in different cities and states now. Everybody showed up, whether we hadn't talked to her in years or nothing, because it's more of, we've been through so much together. It don't matter if I was mad at you for whatever. I ain't even mad about it no more anyway, right? It's just, we're in a whole nother different space. We're grown. None of that stuff even matters. So it's more of like, can we build from right here? And if we're still in communication, we're still able to build from where we are, then that means the friendship was at that point where it was supposed to be at. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It could be, plateau. It could be whatever, because everybody's at different spaces in their lives. So I just feel like you pour into the cup, whether it's empty, full, halfway, whatever, and if you feel like you're not getting reciprocated what you thought you were supposed to get, you just handle it with a long handle spoon. You don't tell them, you don't wish no ill will on them. You don't whatever. You just be like, whenever sis ready, she gonna come around. And every single one of my friends that happened with, it all came back around. And I'm like, girl, I forgot about it. I love you too.
Exactly.
Good.
I think I feel the same way. I think I feel the same way. I would, especially because I guess I know what it looks like to be on the other side. You know, when my friends is, I don't know, we call it a get together. When you get somebody together, you know, you don't want to be got together. Okay. And being the person that has to be gotten together, doing some silly stuff, is I had to learn to be a lot more receptive. And in the moment, because it's funny because like in the moment I might not be saying anything because the thing I want to say is stop talking to me about this. I don't feel like hearing this right now, right? But that's the little silly side. While the side of me that's like, well, no, you know, I guess you're saying something. You know, I know you're telling the truth, and it's what I need to hear. That's the side that keeps me quiet, but it kind of altogether may look like I'm not really taking it. And I've had to learn to be a little bit quicker with showing them that I am receiving this and with good faith and in a positive manner versus being like, well, let me go ahead and do what you're doing because blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, just in a, I don't know what to call it, but it's just like doing it reluctantly. And I think it goes into the point I was making earlier, just being in a position where you can, or spirit in a space that you can also receive. Because sometimes people, you know, maybe in my opinion, I think a lot of people don't pour just for the sake of trying to get something back. Really, at least for my friends, it's just they just doing
genuine. Yeah,
it's just genuine. It's like you need help clearly, you know, or you don't know this clearly. I'm trying to help you out, and that's it. They don't get nothing outside of that. But if you're not in a space that you can receive, or you don't show them that you can receive, I think that's how people feel like they gotta, you know, do it at a distance or speak to you at a distance because they don't want to waste their time giving it to somebody who clearly is not taking it. And so I was like, well, no, let me, even if it's like, I'll do it, whatever you just told me to do, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. And I'm gonna tell you that I did it. So you know with my actions that I was actually listening to what you were saying. Because in the moment, I might just gave you this blank stare because I'm stopping myself from saying something stupid. And I'm trying to take it in. I told my friend that too. I said, like, the reason I'm quiet is because I'm listening to what you're saying very well. You might be on the phone. I actually might be taking notes. You have no idea what I'm doing over here. Right. But I'm really stopping myself from telling you to stop talking to me. Because that's the wrong thing to say. Because what you're saying is usually correct. Right. Yeah. You know, so have some grace with me. I'm going to do it.
Have grace. Yep. Have grace for yourself. And
you a good 25. Because at 25, I was like, girl, bye.
Okay. What'd you say? She's mature, huh? That's a good one.
Very 25. Listen, gotta catch me in another country. I'm not trying to hear that.
No, that's the point that come up, man. I'm telling you, be real. Cause I can get real smart when I'm not. I mean, I really.
Yeah, you sound like my son's girlfriend. Because like I told y'all at the beginning, well, you guys kind of missed it at the beginning, but it took a lot. But I'm in a space with her now. I love her to pieces, and whether they stay together or not, I know that everything that I was pouring into her, I see the growth, and not saying that she didn't have close relationship with her mom, her grandmother, or anything else, but the boundaries that I have said, or just the things that we've been through, the growth. And it's just because I'm older doesn't mean I can't learn anything. And, you know, she's 21 now. So I've learned a lot from them. Because I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. I don't want to be that person that's stagnant and think, oh, it's definitely this way and it has to be this and this. And because so much has changed from then to now. My son's so funny. He's like, Mom, y'all had electricity? Boy, if you don't get somewhere.
We have what?
Yeah. He's like, did you have electricity?
That's sounds like my kid. Yeah.
No, but you know what I do tell him? I'll call him. I was like, come here. He's like, what are you doing? I said, I need you to change your TV. He said, where's the remote? I said, no, you are the remote. That's
you
what
are.
Exactly. That's never going to change.
I was the remote.
That's not going to change.
Okay.
We were the remote.
My remote.
Michelle and I, we're in the same age group. We were the remotes. Get up and turn the TV.
We were remotes too. Y'all not the
remotes.
I was the remote. I was the remote.
It was remotes.
Who's the remote?
We us. Talk about who? Me and Astoria.
First of all, you must not know how old my mama is. She turned 69 a couple of days ago. Okay, so I was the remote.
Okay, she was dropping it like
I do. Okay. I get it. You were the remote. I got it.
Oh, wait a minute. I was a remote too.
Okay.
My parents are 50. Okay.
You said your parents are 70?
My kids are your age and they wasn't a remote, so.
Well, then that was your household.
that's-
My household, I was the remote. They took advantage of this one child that they got.
It
And
was
that was
Tanya,
me.
Tanya didn't want them to be the remote like she was the remote. So she
Yeah,
was trying to,
you
be
know
different.
what? That's
Mhm.
exactly what it was. I'm not gonna do my kids like they did me.
Exactly. But
Well, I'm doing my children how I was done. And I feel like I turned
That
out
part. But then that explains the maturity level. That explains the maturity level too.
You're
So,
very mature.
Does it? Because I was the remote?
Yeah.
Is that why I'm mature?
yes, exactly. So you get to appreciate if you was outside playing with your friends, they call you in to fix
No, that's real. I really was.
water.
I remember I got in trouble. It was a little dark. I'm like,
So
I ran
since y'all was the remotes, I just need to understand this question. This is a question in the Black community I ain't figured out yet. So how come we gotta wash dishes when a dishwasher was like right there? I know the dishwasher work. I know
a dishwasher does not work. It does not clean the dishes.
does not
You gotta like pre-wash the dishes. I don't like
still wash
dishwashers.
dishes to this day. I have a dishwasher and I wash the dishes.
Yeah. I used to live in an apartment that had a
dishwasher.
dishwasher.
Let me tell you, we had a microwave when microwaves first came out. That microwave stayed on that counter for about 2 or 3 years. It was for decoration. My mama said, do not touch that microwave. Well, what is it?
What's it for?
Not for you to use it. Because they say it costs something. I'm like, well, why did you buy it? But don't touch it.
That's a part of the sisterhood you can grow and appreciate because it's in that sisterhood of generation. So you got, like I said, age-wise, we're from, early 20s to our 50s. And yet here again, we're all bonded on a sisterhood based on how we all kind of grew up, So it's a beautiful thing when you find it and you can relate and you can just kind of tie it in together. And you would never in a million years, we'd walk down the street and Khadirah, you'll be like, oh, we have something in common. Because honey, I would have never guessed in a million years you was a remote, never, but then you're like, oh, this is something we can form a sisterhood over and we get it. We have like goals, like things, right or wrong, ladies?
Y'all ridiculous. You know what? I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Right.
Y'all act like y'all some last generation. You know what's funny though? When I started babysitting my friend's children, and she was like, yeah, just tell them to do whatever, if you need stuff. And I actually needed the remote. And I was like, now this time I guess I can't make them. The TV don't got buttons. You can't just move the channel. So I need you to just at least get the remote. And I was like, I told the little baby, because
get the remote.
Like, go get the remote. And he got it.
And you loved it.
Wow.
The power
This
of
is what
children.
Again, no siblings. I'm the everything.
You're the everything. Okay.
I was like, wow. I told the other one, go get us a snack because, it's snack time. She got it too.
Oh, goodness. So.
I'm like,
I got the best of both worlds. I'm technically the baby. Well, not technically. I am the baby. I was raised by myself, but all my siblings are older. So it's not like I don't have siblings.
Yeah.
So it's more like I got to get 2 or 3 mamas. You know what I'm saying? When I ain't get my way with my mama, I just call my sister and be like, mama won't get this. You gonna get it for me? And they gonna get it.
Yeah. Me forever, daddy's girl. Don't matter what's gonna happen. I live by myself and I still will call my father. He come fix my car because I don't know what's going on with it. How am I supposed to figure this out? I feel like the point is to be a forever child.
Right.
I will take advantage of the fact that I am your only one. And therefore your favorite.
Okay. I'm the baby, so I think Astoria will be both the babies. I'm the baby. My next sibling they were stair-step children, boom, boom, boom. And then I'm the oopsie child 6 years later. But so you know the baby stuff, Astoria. You know how we
you know how we roll.
You know how we roll, but
how we roll.
Again,
if my daddy could still fix my stuff, he would fix it. Trust me, but that's why we got AAA.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be saving him back with that, with the AAA. Every now and again, just to remind you. We'll call you.
Yeah. So, but even bringing back to that, because back then when I was younger, I just seemed so far apart from my siblings. And now that I'm older, again, I talked about them, my sisters, we have a true sisterhood, because that 8-9 year difference is nothing now. And I'm just so thankful and grateful that that I have a true sisterhood with them, and I can talk to them about everything. And I'm just so grateful with that sisterhood and all the sisterhood. So
yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
it's beautiful. And I'm not taking it for granted, at all, because not everyone has it. So
Yeah, and that's very true. And it's an unfortunate thing when you don't have anybody. In this way, as humans, we're not made to be alone. Either one, whether you believe it on a purely scientific, biological level, or you believe it on a religious level, we're just not made to be alone. You're supposed to have community. You need people, and that's where that whole the current like popular I don't know what to call it, themes or whatever in society, where it's like, I don't need no friends, no new friends.
No new friends.
The self-deprecating humor, I ain't got nobody, ha ha ha, that's real funny. It's not funny. What you mean you ain't got nobody? It's 7 billion people on the planet. You don't have one person? Why you don't got somebody? You gotta go get somebody. It's not even about a romantic relationship. You need persons, you need people.
Yeah.
Somebody who you can at least talk to, because no matter what, you need somebody. Because the world's too big and it's too much going on, and it's too much going on with you. You are your own world,
And if you're not in a good headspace, that's a terrible place to be in your own world by yourself with no help.
Nobody to reach out to, nobody who's just thinking about you. They don't want nothing. They just want to, you good. That's all I want to know. Are you okay? If you're not, let's talk. Or just showing up. Sometimes you just need to pop up people. They'll just find where you at. Like, hey, It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I just want to know that you're all right.
It's funny you say that, Khadirah, because I have a friend, we both Capricorns, but she a December Capricorn, but we are so much alike.
Is it a difference between a December Capricorn?
Don't get that into that, because
okay. It is, but we ain't gonna talk about it. It is, but we ain't gonna talk about it. But
we both but I'm a December. I'm like, is it a difference? Okay.
One day we'll talk about how she kind of read me saying I'm an October Scorpio. No, it was Nisha. Nisha said something. Nisha said something. I kind of forget a little bit. She was like, you an October Scorpio. That's the whole thing.
It's different. It's different.
Okay.
It's different. But anyway, the thing is, like, we so much alike. It's uncanny sometimes how, like, I know when she's about to shut down, or she knows when I'm gonna shut down, right? And so I do things like this. Like, I'll text her, she ain't answer. I'll call her, she ain't answer. And if she don't answer in a couple days, I'll be like, now you know I'm about to pull up at your house. So if you don't answer your phone in the next 10 minutes, I'm about to pull up on you, right? And then she'll be like, no, friend, I'm okay. I just needed to be alone. But it's those kind of friendships that you build with people that I'm gonna pull up on you. You don't answer the phone a couple times on me. I don't care if you said, and Houston big, y'all. She stay an hour from me. I will roll up on her and be like, you need me to stay over tonight? Because I'm coming over because you didn't answer the phone. So I need to know that you're okay.
Yeah. People need that. I mean, for real, especially people who don't want to, I don't know, it's that burden feeling. I don't want to burden you my issues. I don't want to bother you. Nah, because you about to get bothered. I wish I would answer my best friend, because sometimes I'm a person, I could be alone for a minute and I'm perfectly fine. It may not necessarily be something going on. I will not answer the phone, and it's nothing wrong. But then she'll be like, she'll be the person sending the text. She's like, so I'm about to get the children in the car, because they live down the street from me. I'm about to get the children in the car, and I feel like you shouldn't be making me have to get the children in the car to come see you at your apartment. She got the key to my house. I mean, she's like, I will just walk in there. So answer the phone. Thank you. Send a text back. Something that says you're alive over there. And I work from home. I really don't go. She about to get the key to my car. I mean, she'll come and get everything. So it does go back to that point, though. You want to have people like that. Because you just want to feel like
even when you do have people like that, I had somebody close to me. We're sitting up here laughing, giggling, everything's fine. We're making plans. Like, hey, girlie, okay, I'll come by there tomorrow and pick you up and take you to the nail shop. Are you good? You know, I sent a text today for us as a cultural people. You know, you straight? That means you got problems with us. Oh, you straight? You need some money? You know, you straight means so many things to us, right? So you have to ask that you're straight in so many different ways to make sure somebody's really okay. And even when they're, what was her name? The Miss Universe that just committed suicide. I'm sure she had people talk, and then, you know, she's on extra, going to work, looking fine, and everything's okay. My point is, I'm checking on you. I just left your house for the same reasons. I'm texting you, not pulling up. I know you kind of been going through some things. We're making all these great plans. No sooner than I'm pulling off, getting back to my house. You live about 15 minutes from me. I'm getting a call like you just shot yourself in the head. Right. Why? I mean, even if you are checking on the people, you're checking on the people. You know, sometimes they say they're in a good space, but they're really not in a good space, you know? So what do you do at that point? You know, when you are checking and they are communicating with you, and then, wow, what do you do at that point in the sisterhood? What do you do then? What, you know, for me, I know there was nothing that I could have done. It just wasn't, because if that's what you've decided to do, that's just what you were going to decide to do. I'm not going to drive myself crazy. I'm not, because I keep telling you guys, once you get to that level in life, that peace surpasses all understanding. For me, I'm a big believer. I just have to pray, God, give me some peace about it, and please let me go on. I'm sorry that she felt that you made a permanent solution to a temporary issue. And, you know, so what do you do when they are checking in with you? They say they're okay. They look like they're okay. They're still going out and doing things. And you have that situation. How do you really know?
Well, you never really know, but most of the time, well, I'm not saying most of the time, I would say that more likely than not, somebody exhibits signs. We just don't pay attention. And that's honestly what happens. They're telling you something, but it's just like that depression commercial, right? So you see they showing like the happy face, but really behind the face, they're not really happy. We just have to pay attention to the signs that people give us and understand that what her reaching out don't look like what you think is gonna look, or him, or whoever, right? Because mental health is real. And a lot of times I
say, yeah, that's for sure. And we, as a community, as sisterhood, we're taught to be so strong. We feel like we can't right. Just let you in.
Exactly. But I listened to a lot of podcasts and stuff about mental health or whatever. And one of the guys that's a therapist, he said that how you said it's a temporary situation. To them, it's not that they chose suicide to die. It's more of, I just want the pain to end now. They don't even see past what's going to happen in that moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's how crazy mental illness is for a person. They don't think about like, oh, it's going to end my life. Permanent. It's like, right. It doesn't seem permanent to them. What it is I'm ending the pain that I'm feeling right now in this moment. Right. And so the thing is, we as sisters, as friends, have to be able to truly identify when something is off. And so that means that a lot of times we just can't be in our own headspace. If we know that a friend is somewhat, even though they look happy, if we could just use that, our intuition.
Discernment. Yeah.
Some ain't right, some ain't right. In certain situations, there's nothing you could do. But sometimes you just know something ain't right, right? And so you just be like, well, I'm just gonna hang out with my friend. Like, they don't even know why you hanging out with them. Like, girl, yeah, I just figured we're gonna have coffee all day or whatever. We're gonna do this or whatever that is, right? Or I'm spending the night. Like, just random things that people don't necessarily think about to do. And we get so caught up in our own world that we don't do those things for each other anymore. And that's the true thing with a sisterhood. If you really friends with somebody and like, if that's your sister,
know something is a little off.
You know something off. Like, when I check on my friends, it's because I know something is off. And I'm like, if I have to call you one more time, I'm coming over. It's because I feel it in my spirit. And most of the time, me and my friends will feel something from each other. And if I don't call them, they call me. Right. I be like, I was just thinking about you, girl. And they be like, yeah, I know something was wrong. So what's up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's us paying attention to those little voices in our minds, in our heads that say something ain't right, check on her. Not, oh, I'm gonna check on her in 3 days, or I'm gonna check on her, I'm gonna check on her. No, she came to your mind for a reason. So check on her right now. Like,
yeah, because I did that to
and
someone the other day, and she was like, "Oh my God, I just so needed to hear your voice." And I hadn't talked to her in a while. I'm like, "Girl, you know I got you. Just because we don't talk all the time, I got you." But like I'm just saying, in an instance where everything's okay, there aren't any signs. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's kind of a hard situation as well. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And so we had spoke about this earlier. When someone comes on my mind, it's just a quick text. Hey, how you doing? I don't need any, you know, a big conversation, just thinking about you, and I do it, and I'm intentional. And sometimes sisterhood has to be intentional. And yes, so
yeah, when you use the word sisterhood, that means you really have a close bond with somebody, and you really feel more deeply than a regular person. So I mean, the thing is, like, when we throw around the word friendship so easily a lot of times, but like, if you really gonna be somebody's friend, realize that's a commitment. If you're gonna be somebody's sister, that's a commitment. It's
with the responsibility.
This is real.
It's
a responsibility behind that. That's a really good point. I had an actual friend, and we're talking about that, because I would always say, you know, my friend did this, my friend did that, my friend did that, like a few years ago. And we were having a conversation, and she was like, "Oh, I thought that was your friend." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm more of an acquaintance." She was like, "Oh, well, you said that was your friend." And I was like, And the conversation didn't get deeper than that, but it made me think. I'm like, I'm gonna stop saying that.
Yeah, that's
because then it's like saying you love everybody when you just, you know, oh, I love that, I love. Yeah. That's a commitment right there.
Yeah.
You know, especially, you know, everybody got different definitions of love. To me, a big part of love is the performance of duty. You know, the execution of obligation is
the action.
The action is the doing. It's the performing your responsibility to that person. And
love is a verb, not a noun. Love is a verb, not a noun.
Love is a verb. You know, and I don't know. I'm honest enough to say I don't love everybody, because I don't have a responsibility to everybody, and it's not something I can perform for everybody. So I was like, I gotta stop saying that. You know, I like you. You cool. No, we are straight. And none wrong. You straight and I'm straight. We straight. You know,
we cool. Straight.
That's straight. You know? Or are you straight?
Wrong. We good. But I don't love you, because I then I gotta really do something. And then maybe you're just not that person. I can do that with. And I'd rather be honest with you versus you thinking that you can rely on me, and I may not be your person like that. And I think that's just real, because I don't know. I don't want to give the wrong expectation of what you should be expecting from your interaction with me. You know, my friends, people are in my circle, my best friend, yes, you can call me by anything. I will get up out of my bed, and I hate to when I don't have to, but I will do it. You know, I remember one time it was a little emergency. I had just gotten back home. It was we were celebrating something, and I had just gotten back home, ready to just end the day. It was about to be the weekend. It's gonna be great. Got a call, had to get right up out of my bed. I had just sat down, and I'm like, this was the right person to call me, because I don't know, because that's the expectation. You know, you can do that with me if you need me. You know, but saying that everybody your friend, you got to do something with that. You know, that shouldn't, at least it shouldn't be an empty gesture. Because then if it is an empty gesture, that means if you call somebody your friend, who you really want that to be your friend, it's kind of like you say that to everybody. You know, so maybe our relationship really isn't that deep, because we really say that to everybody.
Say that, right?
Yeah, I'm say this one last thing and I'm be done. But I was gonna say that when I check on my friends, if I'm really checking on them, I don't ask them how they doing. I ask them, how is your being? And they know when I say that, I'm saying like, how are you all throughout, like spiritually? How is your being?
Sorry. Yeah.
Like how you being? I'll be like, how you being? How is your being? They be like, oh, okay. You really want to know how I'm doing, because then they won't be like, oh, I'm fine. They'll be like, well, actually today, blah blah blah, right? Because I'm asking how your spirit feel. Like what you know, what's really going on?
Wow. So, you know what's crazy? I kind of started doing the same thing. I would ask, how are you feeling? How's your mental? What's going on?
Same thing.
How's
That's a
your
different,
mind?
that's a different question. Don't ask me how I'm doing. I'm
Different
doing
question.
Yeah. You ask me how my mental, well, then how long do you have? Because I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You got time to talk? You got time to talk, sis? No.
Yeah. And you know,
Yep.
that requires a different level of responsibility that you take on, you know, because that's a real question to ask somebody, because it's not something most people ask, number one.
Right.
And number two, how somebody presents physically, I think oftentimes it's entirely different than how we are mentally, because you got so much going on.
Yep.
I
You
agree.
gotta follow that up with, sister, you have the capacity to take on what I have to say today? Because sometimes
That's
I
a
might be not
real,
in the mental headspace to take on what you're talking about, sis. So,
Yeah.
you know, do you have the
Mentally, you're not ready for it.
yeah.
right?
And you
If
got
I
to be
gotta
honest
dump,
about that.
if I got to dump on somebody, I always ask my sisters, do you have the capacity to talk right now? Like, do you have the capacity? Because I know you're dealing with what you're dealing with, right? But I'm
Yeah.
dealing. So do you have the capacity? Because
That's
sometimes
good.
I can't take on whatever you got going. I can't take no more. Like today
That-
been a
that's
day
a-
for me.
That's good.
Awareness.
Because sometimes I just unload. So that's real good, a story.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And you know, I think you also, if you know you're about to be unloaded on, or you just got unloaded on, if you know you're not in the space, sometimes I think you just gotta say it. You be like, it's like, I know you got a lot, but I can't even receive what you're saying right now. Can I follow up with you? Can we come back to this? I don't have the space to take this on right now.
Yeah. Or I just be like, do you want to vent? I'ma cut the phone on, but just know that I'm not listening to nothing that you're saying. But the phone right here, sis.
But let's vent, right?
Hey.
But sometimes that's good. Sometimes
gotta
that's
get
good.
out.
They just need to vent it. But you're not
Yeah.
listening, but just let them talk. That's good.
And I let them know, hey, sis, I ain't really got the capacity to listen to you, but I'm gonna leave the phone right here. And you let me know.
Go ahead and go.
Like, you know, you just do what you're doing. I'm gonna clean the house. I'm gonna do whatever I'm doing. But you just
No
keep going.
judgment.
I'm
Yeah.
do whatever.
That's actually really considerate and respectful, to be honest. You know, because sometimes people just want to talk, and that's cool. I mean, I'm listening, you know, but as long as you don't need me to super engage and super, you know, take on what you're saying right now, you know, that can be fun. Man, you know what that kind of makes me think of though? Is when, I don't know, I have a friend of mine who always sometimes calls a lot about just some negative. And I had to have a conversation with her, and I was like, wait, every time you call me, it seemed like everything is bad. And it's, you know, and I understand you're going through what you're going through, but maybe ask me how I'm doing. And it would be kind of like that, where you're not even asking me, you're just going off about this, that. And I had to have a real heart to heart. And I said, look, I don't mind necessarily listening to you, but can you sometimes listen to me, or at least ask me how I'm doing? Just the little pleasantries, little mannerisms, you know, something. Because you don't always want to be the person that get dumped on.
Right. Yeah, like even if you don't mean it for me, for the people who come dumping like that, I tell them, I say, hey, your consequences, your decisions will not be my consequences. So if you keep putting yourself in all those negative decisions, you keep making these choices, and now you want me to deal with it? No, that's not how that works. So I had a shirt that made when I know I'm not in the mood for any of that. Your choices will not be my consequences.
Yes.
And on the back it says, deal with it.
Deal with it. I love it.
Deal with it, because sometimes I'm at that point. I'm tapped out. I'm dealing with my own stuff, and yeah, I'm not your dump zone. I don't mind being there for you. And it just doesn't apply to the sisterhood. It applies to everybody, especially all the negative people. And I just tell them, hey, do something with your stinking thinking, because in my world, everything's not perfect, but everything's going to be okay. No matter how bad the negative situation is, I'm going to find a positive and make it flip, because that's just who I am, and that's how I've designed. And I don't expect everybody to be like that, but I do expect you to respect the boundaries that I set and the things that I expect. You know, if I've set these expectations, I've set these boundaries, and it's not okay. And I had to learn that, you know, it's not okay for you to come dump on me when I'm not in that headspace right now. I got my own stuff I'm dealing with. But But yeah, they love when I wear that shirt. They're like, never mind. You learn boundaries,
I
huh?
know.
You
Don't
learn
even come.
that kind
Michelle
of
with
day.
that stuff now. She ain't trying to entertain me today.
Michelle, I agree. I do that to my mama. I be like, girl, I can't, I don't want to hear none of that today.
Not
It
today.
don't matter who it is. It's like,
Not
I really
today.
don't have the
Yeah.
capacity to take on what you're saying. So we're not gonna talk about it today. Period.
Not today.
Not
Because
today.
they do, you know, people do make decisions and they just feel like we're supposed to deal with that for them. And then, you know, like you said, how about you start with the pleasantries, even though, because a lot of times when people go, hey, how are you today? And they keep on walking up.
And they keep.
If you really wanted to know, you would have stopped and had the conversation. So don't ask me that conversation if you're not really ready to hear. You know,
Right.
just
Yeah,
say,
you don't
hey, I'm
wanna know.
thinking and I'm moving. I'm keeping it moving. So I feel like sometimes, you know, even being in the sisterhood, we have to do that. It's not always about what they need and what they want. It's about boundaries sometimes too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Don't even say I went to church on y'all today. I kept that message short.
I
You
don't
get
know.
it to a free, huh?
Yeah.
It was a word. It was a word. I got a
Yes.
word.
Yeah.
You gotta be in church to have a word. The word.
Right. That's why I said it was a word. It was a
Yeah.
word. I ain't gotta be at church to have a word.
Right.
I am just so thankful for this conversation today. Sisterhood is definitely needed. And I am just so thankful and grateful that I do share sisterhood with all of you, as well as I have sisterhoods with a lot of different circles. So I'm so thankful that without that, I don't think, without the sisterhood, I would not be where I am today. So again, I'm so thankful and grateful. Again, I'm Tonia Archibald, and you can find me. You want me to do that now? Yeah. So you can find me on Facebook at Tonia Champion Archibald, on Instagram at bless_favored, and my website is greatlakespmg.com.
I think my last point is really just to have the genuine sisterhood that you want, being able to hold space and being honest about the people that you're holding space with, and just accepting people for who they are and who they're not, and just checking on your people as well, because the world's too big to not, have somebody that you can check on with and somebody that check on with you. And yeah, I think that's a good point. Khadirah Muhammad, Systems Implementation Engineer at Omnipotent Marketing, helping coaches and consultants scale their businesses and get back all their time. If you want to learn more, go to Khadirah.com, just my first name.
I guess I'm gonna go in the middle. So I came in at the end of the conversation, but I definitely think that sisterhood is needed, and I love that all of us really have formed a bond, through these conversations that we've had over 14 episodes, however many episodes we on, I don't know. And Michelle, welcome to the family, girl. I feel like you've been here already, like I already knew you or something. So it's all good. And I appreciate the fact that we all share something different, but the same at the same time. Like we have our own point of views when it comes to certain things, where we're able to come to a nice, consistent consensus and beautiful space and actually show what sisterhood could look like across all age ranges, right? And so, yeah, I'm Astoria, Queen Astoria, whatever you prefer to go by. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Story, so MS_STORI, or on my business page, which is the I Am Queen Hair. So hairstylist, Reiki, spiritual architect, all of those good things. Yeah, and that's me.
So I guess that leaves me with the final word. The one thing I want to do sum up is I am really grateful. I'm blessed to even be on this platform with you ladies. And just to kind of tag on what everybody else says is I'm just blessed to be in this opportunity of beautiful women, a beautiful sisterhood. And again, thank you for allowing me to be on this platform with you. And I found something, I learned something. Our point of views were the same, but different, and it comes across from one generation to the next. So at the end of the day, our sisterhood, or what we look for in a sisterhood, is really not that much different. May come from different roads and everything, but once we get there, it's all the same. We all kind of want to arrive at it. And the sisterhoods that we do have, continue to cherish them. And for those that don't have any sisterhoods, get out there and form some. It's okay to ask for help. Where we got stuck off not asking for help or not asking for what we need, you're never going to be okay. You know, and if you don't have a sisterhood, form one, start one. I'm not going to advertise today because I'm in the middle of not revamping who I am. Again, my name is Michelle Johnson. I'm a realtor, but I'm more than just a realtor. So all my websites and things are down. My notary business is up, but just that wasn't even what I was here for. I'm just really here to cherish and enlighten and glean from the other beautiful ladies that are out here on this platform. So again, thank you guys for having me out here. And I do feel like I've been with you guys for all 14 episodes, but I can look forward to staying on this platform with you ladies. So with that, I guess I'm going to turn that over to you, Nick.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Tonia, Khadirah, Michelle, and Astoria. Shout out to Nisha, who had to jump off a little early, and shout out to Brooke, who couldn't be with us tonight. So thank you all for your insights and your time. And shout out to DJ, the money coach. He's the one who picked out you all and recommended you all to be, you know, a part of this this program and this platform. You know, he some of you he's known for quite a long time. And, you know, he saw that you would be a great fit, you know, based on your character and the way that you carry yourselves. You know, he thought that you would be a great fit for this program. So shout out to him for having the vision to put this program together, and, you know, just delegated to me to run it, you know. So on behalf of DJ, the money coach, I'm Nick Westbrooks. This is the 7 Spheres of Money, and you have been watching Bet on Black, the Women, the Family, the Legacy. And we wish everyone a pom-pom lifestyle that is plenty of money, peace of mind, and we want you to come join us on the beaches of the world. And your beach doesn't have to be next to sand or water, but your beach is where you find your personal tranquility, your peace of mind, and that place where you have that real, authentic sisterhood. So thank you again for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode.
You gotta have this amazing drink. This is a pom-pom lifestyle. I'm not telling you, no joke. It's real, baby. But guess what? We put the work in. That's right. 4 dirty little words. That's right. Discipline, accountability. Plug into a system of people that are doing what you want to do in life. And number 4, do the work. And in 3 to 5 years, I said 3 to 5 years, not 3 to 5 minutes, not 3 to 5 months, not 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 years, you can be consumer debt free. You can have a 6-figure passive income, and you can own businesses, you can buy real estate and leverage the tax laws and have a pom-pom lifestyle. There's plenty of money, peace of mind. Come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. Show them that beach.
Hi everybody, my name is Altidis F. Fleary. I am a notary and loan signing agent. I'm currently working with DJ the Money Coach on setting up my financial business strategies for my business operations. So far, DJ's been great. He gives great advice, and I'm looking forward to continue to work with his team and making sure that we set me up for the near future. Thanks again, DJ.